All right, the sun's coming up and we're in Worlds Adrift taking a look at an island I created that was chosen by the developers and is in one of the tougher to get to zones. So it's taken me about a week to get through the various storm walls and sand walls and pirate filled zones to come and visit it. I was at the south end of the map and it's much more in the north end. And let me get on board and we'll go on down. And hopefully I can keep from getting killed or have any other disasters happen. Like crashing into my island. Or into another ship. Or getting attacked for being too noisy. Okay. So let's see how I did here. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll just hop on down. Pick myself up. Take a look at the ship that got me here. I've got 5 wings, 11 engines, and it managed to survive with only a little bit of repair work. Somebody's been chopping down my forest. That's to be expected. People build their ships with wood when they don't have enough knowledge to build them out of metal. So yes, it was a beautiful forest, and parts of it still are. Nice tall grass, walkway. This is the first time I've been able to see it with the actual in-game lighting. So I want to check and see how some of the buildings look. The idea I had for this was a village of these little buildings and also a enclosed area that had more of an urban feel as much as a rustic type village would. So this is the entrance. And back up a sec, get you more of the effect. All right, there we go. And I hand painted all these pebbles for the walkways, painted a lot of the grass, painted this brick. I constructed all of this. Most of the land was generated by an algorithm. Somebody chopped down my tree. People don't understand the aesthetics. They just chop stuff down. But that's the game. That's the game. All right, let me get a little more light here. This is one of the towers. It's got various different levels. I didn't put any furniture in because the game doesn't actually have furniture. It does now. In the latest version, it has furniture for ships, but they haven't put the furniture into the island creator. There's actually a lot of things in the current game that haven't been put in the island creator yet. So I didn't put it in either. People who are a lot more ambitious than I am have made furniture by scaling down building parts and grouping them all together. But that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to use all the pieces the way they were built. And let's find an exit here. We'll come out and take a little look down where we were. This is going to be looking just below the gate, if I can. All right. So I built all these walkways So any place on the island can be reached. Just follow the pebbled surfaces. All right, so we're looking down at the remains of somebody's ship. All right, I'm gonna fall to my death. And we're looking up above at the top of the island. Over here, somebody has parked their ship in a shipyard and they're building, looks like a sail. And this is the tower that we just got out of. I'm gonna get back down here. I've got a limited time before it starts getting dark, since it's on a fairly short day-night cycle. So trying to come through here, show you a few things. There's one of the other towers. So there's two tall towers in this area and a couple of shorter ones. They're all connected by walkways. They all have internal curving stairs. Let's see what the top should have. A treasure chest, which, yep, actually has treasure in it. Well, that's a change. Infused rice. Well, that's knowledge that's always useful. Good for money. Well, not money, but what accounts as currency in this game is knowledge. You use it to craft engines, and let's get some green. This is dye. I can actually color my clothes or color my ship parts. That's all new since I last played. Well, not exactly since I last played. The ship part is new. The clothing was previous. All right, I'm rambling. So let's just go take a look over. I should have another walkway to another tower. Let's see where that is. And haven't been here in a while. So it's kind of fun to rediscover a place that I spent quite a bit of time. I think I figured I spent about 50 hours building this over the space of 4 or 5 days. This is the most I invested in any island. All right, this was fun. This is a tower that goes through the middle of the mountain. Well, it's all mountain, and it goes up to the top and down to the bottom. So we'll start by going up. Actually, before we do that, let's hop out here and see what this section looks like. Oh yeah, the lighting's nice. In the creator, the lighting was all messed up, and some of these walls were like pure white and didn't have any shadows. All right, let me dig myself back out of this hole I fell in. But all the lighting looks really good here. I'm very happy with the way that turned out. Let's see, so, and most of these follow the same template so that I could build one and duplicate it and then swap out various parts to make it more customized. Use different doors. See, this has got a kind of a bird mouth door. More ramps. And there's somebody who's landed on the island that we saw earlier who's working on a ship. This is a what do they call it? Revival island. So if you die going through a wall, all right, let's move forward. Then you can come back in this island. All right, I'm getting distracted here, but of course I am, because that's what it's about. Oh, Christmas presents. Well, they call it Kali, but we're going to open it, see what it is. Oh, that's the 3rd time I've gotten that. And these are good. Collect. I want the infused rice cupboard I already have. I'm actually going to put this back and take this color. And I don't need these lamps anymore because I can make them now myself. So I don't have to pick them up, I can just craft them. And that's nice. Of course, I'm going to lose all of this once we go into the final game, or the next time they wipe everything. All right, so that's the bottom of that tower. So you can see, so this tall tower here, which I'm going to keep getting distracted because the way I made this has lots of interesting things going on, which I guess is why it made the cut. I've made over 30 islands, and I tried all different kinds of things because I had no idea really what the developers wanted, except I knew they'd picked the first one I ever did, which was really a simple island. So ultimately it turns out that that's kind of what they want, are simple islands. But they want simple islands that have buildings on them. So this one has lots of buildings, which is why it made the grade. And so here, a slippy slide, that traction doesn't always work. All right, so now we're up at the top. Looking back down, there's my ship way down there. Here we've got a little building. So I tried to have a variety of tall towers and these little short buildings, which would be more what you'd expect people to live in. The towers were more for transition, kind of like stairways, really. Now that's interesting over there. I want to find out why that's glowing. It's probably just a lighting artifact. No, it looks like it's actually yes, that's a revival building. That comes from the game. Oh, my hip lamp broke. Well, we'll fix that later. So that's, I was curious whether there would be any of those on this island. There's at least 2, I think 3. You can't see them all from this angle. So that means that if people have died or want to just jump from one island to the other at random, they can come to this island. I designed it as a beginner island with really no dangers whatsoever, and it's actually in a fairly high level tier. There you go. Ooh, which is kind of cool because it means you get a lot of valuable knowledge. And it's probably nice for people who've gotten tired of being attacked and killed by all the other islands to come to this one and find all this good loot. This is actually the first time I've come to an island where most of the chests have not been emptied of all of their stuff by other players. So that's fun because I had fun figuring out where to put all of these, and it's nice to actually come and see what it would look like. So this is a big statue underneath here. It's nighttime, so you can't quite see it that well, but it's this big owl guy. Owl god, owl man, not really sure. So what I did was since I knew I was going to have a ton of buildings, ton meaning a lot, not heavy, but I wanted to make sure that people could figure out which of the 40 or so that are on the island they should be paying attention to. And so the ones that have a gold roof and a light in them are where the databanks are. Databanks being a source of knowledge. Knowledge being what you need to be able to build really cool ships. All right, so I'm just dropping back down. I'm hanging in the middle of the urban center. It's night, so you can't see anything. That's fine, we'll come back to it. It's just to give you a sense of where things are. And you see I lit up all the trees. so it would just give it some atmosphere. This is probably my most advanced island in terms of really having learned all the things you can do. And applying them. The lights aren't quite as nice in the real game as they were in the creator, but overall the lighting's generally better. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into this tunnel, and this time we're gonna go through out the other side to the front. So you can see this is where I started. My ship's over there behind the tree. Go back in, and let's see, what do I want to show you next? Well, this is kind of cool, so I'll show you this. So this is a stairway that spirals up as we went up before and down, and has a walkway in the middle to get across, and a nice platform to be able to get out to the stairs. All right, so we'll go down, and I lit it all the way through. Now you can't see the lighting because I hid it. There are lights floating in the air that have been shrunk to 0%. They have no size whatsoever. It's pretty cool. You could do that. Oh, I need my lamp again. All right, let me make a lamp real quick. So this is my crafting. Oh, I don't have any. Oh, I have some silver. Do I have enough? Yes, I do. I don't have any fuel. All right. So instead, we're going to use a torch. Yeah, I didn't bring my lamp with me, and I forgot I needed metal. I think I died sometime past and lost all my stuff. I forgot to get it, and I'm not going to go back right now. All right, so sun's coming up somewheres, and we're underground now. So we're down in the cave area, and this is a large cave that's basically has no bottom. It has some small amount of bottom, which we're standing on right now. But in the main, there's no bottom to let the light in so that it's not pitch black in here. It's still pitch black, but it's not as pitch black. Fairly treacherous. I'm going to have to be careful. I'm used to having a little more light. So So I spent a good part of the time that I was working on this making all of these walkways down here so that you could get around without dying, as long as you're careful and don't run off the edge. There's a nearby island, and there's lots and lots of little pathways here, and I think the one I want to show you is out this way, but I could be wrong. Well, I'll show you a couple of different ones then. We don't need the light right now. So it's hard to make a flat surface because the polygons are too large, and the control tool works on too large a scale. However, it's workable. I can make it so that. All right, so essentially what I found there, and having forgotten, of course, where everything is, was that's one of the ways to get from underneath up above. There's, I think, 5 of those, all around different parts of the island edge. And somebody dropped a couple sails. That's probably the guy who was making them up there. They keep falling off. So, because it's my island and I don't want all this clutter, I'm going to delete it. it's fun to be an amateur game designer. At least to the degree that I designed the environment, of course, not the actual game. There's somebody's ship just floating there. I guess they gave up on it and left it. It might have been on a shipyard earlier, but the shipyards gradually decay and shrink and sink. Don't shrink, they sink into the ground. All right, so we're coming around the edge here, and I'm going to see if I get a different view. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Looking up at that shipyard the person has, looking up at one of the towers that's lit up with a gold roof, so that has a data bank in it. And let's go get to it. So the first one up at the very top was pretty obvious and pretty easy for anybody to see. So then I made the second one here in the middle level puzzle. And let's see, how do I want to get to it? And there's many entrances and exits to everything. So let's stay out in the light so you can actually see what's going on. I'll grab a shortcut. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is, oh, somebody died here and left their bronze. Oh, okay, well, if I pick up some fuel the next time I see it, I can make a lamp. All right, so I basically hid it in the roof. I'm not going to beat around the bush about this. And if you're one of the people who's watching this, who plays the game and it hasn't been to the island, this is going to spoil it for you. So, sorry, but not sorry, as they say. And all the grace I can manage to climb on the roof. There we go. So, hole in the roof and a collapsed part of the ceiling. So there's a fake ceiling. I'm brilliant. I'm so smart. I just amaze myself. All right. Yeah, every island that I built, I try to come up with different ways to hide things. And mostly I don't do ruined buildings. I like to do fresh, crispy ones. It's just my aesthetics. Okay, you can't. Let me get out of here. So, but in this case, while I realized it was possible to go in through the windows, it turned out that it wasn't possible to get back out of the windows. So I went ahead and made a crack in the roof. And then I also had a hazard. There aren't very many hazards. And this one is not fatal, but you know, if you're not paying attention, you're going to fall down this hole and possibly die. Oh, yeah, almost did. All right, so you see how that works. So there's some hazards. Spirit of the game, you know. Mostly I don't like how dangerous this game is because I'm lazy and I like just wandering around looking at stuff. That's not true for all games. It just happens to be true for this particular game. Other games, I don't mind everything trying to kill me because I'm better armed and it's easier to fight back. In this one, you're pretty fragile, you're pretty poorly armed, everything kills you very easily, and you drop all your stuff, which means you got to go get it again or start over finding it somewhere else. So I definitely don't like losing my stuff and losing progress that I've made. So that's why I tend to build really safe islands that don't torture people like that. All right, this is, we're back. We've actually come back to, oh wait, I'm falling again. Is this safe? Oh, that's safe. All right. Come back to the bottom of that tower that rolls. The tower is actually dead center of the island. It's on the 0 point in the constructor and the island creator. Because, you know, symmetry. And sometimes I just like doing weird things like that. And I think that's what I was looking for before. So let's see if I can get over here without plunging to my death. It's not me. I wouldn't die. You'd still hear me talking. My character would die, of course. So, of all the little buildings that hide under the island, and I will show you more of those in a minute, this one is the one that's blessed. Wow, a tapestry. I don't think that's anything useful. I think it just turns into cloth. But cloth is useful if you want to make clothes. Oh, a skull. Yeah, they've added lots of interesting things at the expense of fixing the game or making it fun to play. But that's what they have to bread. I guess I would be able to make bread. Do I care? No. I kind of don't care about it. Oh, I care about this. This is huge. I would actually have to build, I think, maybe 7 more engines at the cost of 500 a piece to be able to get that particular schematic. So this was a major shortcut. That like saved me hours that I wasn't going to bother spending anyways. So now, yeah, I don't know. Now I might go mess around. My island is giving me more loot than the last week of playing. Oh, I already knew that one. All right. So that's really nice. I'm happy about that. Oh, sure, we'll learn bread. What the heck? There's a lot of stuff like food, making food to give you extra abilities, making clothes so you look stylish. I'm basically wearing the default stuff and a hat that I found. And of course my backpack is a glider, which we will go play with in a minute. I'm going to show you stuff because this may be the last time I play for quite a while, so I'll just get it all out of my system. All right, so let's go. Now that's where I've been before. That was the route to above. And there was another, that one also goes above. So let's go down instead. And once we're down, and now there's no stairs here. So this is the third data bank challenge. This one means you really have to use your rope. It's no big deal. I mean, it's the length of the rope down, so. Yay. All right, all 3 data banks have been visited. Now this is at the bottom of the island. So now, do I have anything that I'm going to be upset about losing? Because I have probably bobbled this. No, that's all. Well, it's good stuff, but I don't particularly care about it right now because I'm done building my ship at the moment, since I only did it to get here. And I don't need to do much else. But let's go swing. Because this is what the game's really about. And that and fighting people on pirate ships, which I don't do much anymore. I'm actually playing in the non-pirate ship part of the game. And I spent probably as much time building islands as I have playing the game. So I think about 700 hours each. It's nice being retired. I'm enjoying only working occasionally. So all of these little buildings have loot in them. Oh, and I worked really hard to make that loot look pretty, and they changed that on me, so it looks ugly. Okay, so now I know that they're going to do that. I won't try and make it look pretty anymore. And this is the main reason why I'm checking this out. Though until they add features to the island creator, I'm not going to be playing with it anymore. Also, I have damaged all my fingers from years of working on computers, so it actually is fairly painful for me to use a keyboard type game. This is a PC game. Oops, that didn't work. And all right, so we're getting a nice sunset coloring the buildings here. And that's really too bad about, I had put the little, what are called junk piles, and rotated them so they looked like part of the furniture. But apparently the game designers didn't honor my rotation. So they look ugly. So thanks, guys. If you're watching this, you messed up. Did I get enough fuel? Probably not. Let's go get some more. Grass looks good. And it'd be nice if the trees grew back faster. Oh, I'm just a barrel of laughs here, whining about everything. Really, it's amazing. This is a free game, not the game, the island creator. It's free. And I've had hours of fun with it. So I am a complainer because I want things to be better because I really like them. And this building islands I really, really like. So I'll probably keep building more, especially now that I have a sense of what passes the grade in their standards. And let's see if I've got enough to make a lamp. Yes, just barely. We'll make a nice, it doesn't matter, they're all going to be the same color. What do I need more of? What do I need less of? Decisions. Yeah. I'm not going to edit this, by the way. You're stuck. This is it. You have to sit through the whole thing. That's the rules. I make the rules. And now that I've made my lamp, I'm going to hang it on my belt. And oh yeah, and I got to remember to play with this. All right. Back into the city. Okay, so let me think. What have I not shown you? It's dark, so there's not a lot to see at the moment. Their darkness is a bit more dark than other games, which, well, their decision, but they're kind of playing a fine line between something that's realistic, like a simulation, and something that's designed to be fun to play. And that line is often, they're often on the wrong side of that line. So this is one of those cases where it's just not really bright enough to wander around at night. So you end up with large parts of the day, large parts of the time you're playing, not actually being able to play. Okay, so more of my fantastic criticism, which I'm sure you're all tired of hearing now. We'll go look at something else, and then I think I will try one last thing. Let's see. I'm not going to show you all the massive amounts of tunnels that I made because they all look the same. It's not that interesting after a while. Oh, I thought that one had a hole in it. I've already forgotten some of the things I've done. Well, I said that before too. So let's loop around. There's a chance that after having seen this much, you're getting a sense of how things are laid out because they keep coming back and going in circles. Let's go up because it's so dark down here we can't see anything anyways. We'll get up where there's some moonlight, and yeah, all these buildings are basically the same. I mean, they really are the exact same building. I just duplicated them. But there are a couple that are different. So let's go find those. There's one. How can I get to that easily? I think there's a way up here. So let me climb up. Climbing's much improved since the beginning, when you would tend to fall off at random, and certainly you'd fall off when you tried to get up over the top edge. And I'm seeing a lot of artifacts here, so I'm wondering if some of what I did has been eroded. I spent a lot of time smoothing out everything, but it's possible that I didn't spend as much time as I remember. Okay, so here's a tower that is a stairwell tower, and it has 2 levels. So it goes from the top down to the bottom, but it turns out that that's exactly where I wanted to be. And then this one, which I was previously looking up at, wondering how I was going to get to, well, that's how. Oh, more presents. All right, I bet you anything it's the exact same thing I got last time. Let's see if I can do... Yes, 4 times I got that. I'm not really sure that there's that many gifts. I think there might only be a couple, so... But I'm seeing a lot of new... I'm just salvaging these because I'm curious what they turn into. I know this is not the most exciting, but hey, this is what the game is. This is, if you're curious what it's like to play the game, this is what you do. You go find chests, salvage them to turn them into raw materials. We're getting a lot of decent materials. Gold is especially valuable. But that makes sense because this is a tier 3. There's only 4 tiers, so, and the 4th one is a very dangerous area where other people have free reign to kill you and wreck your ship. Do I want all this stuff? No. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm 9 and 8. I don't care. 8's good enough. Yeah, when you combine them, it turns into the lower number, or one that's a split between the 2. Aluminum's good. So now they color code these to show you which are good. So the darker's not so, the dark blue is not so great. The gold is the best. And then there's a green in between. And all right, so you can see that it just turns into an inventory game, as so many crafting games are, where you spend, I don't know, 30% of your time just looking at a menu of stuff. I hope someday those games go away, but probably not. I don't think you can play crafting games without managing a lot of inventory. All right, so light's coming in. Now I'm swinging through the tower section to take a look at stuff. You can see got the bottom of one that's hanging here. We got a manta hanging out. It'll probably get ticked off and attack me and kill me, so I'm going to get away from that. And a building. And that was almost fatal. You can see I took a lot of damage. gonna recoup some of that. And let's go up. So it's kind of always dark down here. I'm glad I lit up those trees. Otherwise, it's kind of a depressing area. There's no really large-scale lighting available. Again, that's where it differs from real games, I think is probably the correct phrase. Games that are designed by people who, well, I'm being abusive here. But anyways, you can tell which things tick me off, and it's not having the ability to make things look pretty is one of them. So not being able to really smooth the land, not being able to really light things, not having control over items or having it taken away from me without my knowing that's going to happen. Though you can pretty much tick me off by removing my powers. And in any game, that will be when I start coming up with inventive combinations of swear words at the top of my voice. But I'm not going to subject you to that. This is all happy times. We're visiting my island that got chosen for a game. There's a wall that didn't quite survive the lighting bug. So this is what I see in the Island Creator. Actually, it's possible that I didn't color it, which is unfortunate, because now it'll never be fixed. It'll always be uncolored, forever. No, because they'll remove this island, and there's a good chance that if I fix the one in the Island Creator and they decide to put this island back, then it'll be fixed. So all is not lost. It's not doom and gloom. The apocalypse is not, well, it's postponed. To be scheduled for a later date. And I think we're going to try now this toy that I got that I've been saving for a special occasion, which will probably, I'm such a negative person, but yes, it'll probably be fatal for me to use this. So that's good enough reason. That's good enough reason to try it. So apparently it's like a hover pack, but I have no idea how it works. So I'm just going to jump off and see what happens. Awesome. That's kind of a floaty thing. All right. Well, that wasn't as exciting as I thought. Actually, the glider's better. So we're going to put the glider on. No, wrong button. Glider. But yes, that was very exciting to be able to have this futuristic thing to keep me from falling to my death. But this one's more cool. Glider is definitely more cool. Because you can steer it. Steer it if you know how to use the buttons, which I sometimes do. I wonder if I can actually get to my ship. Whoa, stalling. Okay. Yeah, some controls are better than others. So that was, I think I was already damaged, and that broke my lamp, which I just built. So thanks, guys. Short-lived. And a mousetrap. Yeah, we're running down here. We're running out of things. I think that's everything. So let's hop back on the ship and take a last look. Maybe, yeah, we'll take a last look from the ship. Let's give you a different perspective. Because when I'm swinging under the island, you kind of can only see what I'm looking at. And this gives you a few more views of my beautiful, beautiful ship. This is an evolution? Yeah, anyways, it's developed over a long period of time. And I'll give you a quick tour. Storage locker, a couple more storage lockers, 1 fuel tank, 2 fuel tanks, a light. And this is all of the contraption that keeps you from crashing to the ground. And it mostly fits. You can see that I can actually get around in here. Got a bunch of different kind of wings and stuff. All right, so what did I say I was going to do that I'm not doing? There we go. We're floating into the air. Let it take a look. And I think, can I change my view? No, I can't change my view. There we go. And there, I'll change my view. All right. So yeah, the lighting's really good right now. The sun's in the right place. You can see how smooth I made everything. I'm saying that because I spent hours making it smooth, not because it's the best design in the world. I just find that it's like popping bubbles. It's a great thing to do for hours on end. All right, back to the controls. Let's go up some more. Now I would fly under my engine power, except it's going to attract those manta rays to come and attack me and wreck my ship. And I don't particularly want to deal with that right now, so let's just take another look from a different angle. All right, looking down, and let's open the sail. This will give me some slow power so I can cruise around and take a look at some things. And let's get out a bit. And I think actually I will juice it a little bit. Let's see how long I can get away with that before we get attacked. A fair amount of time. The trick is knowing when those guys are near and when they're not. All right, you can see that shipyard down there, that little platform with the little like flower petals. That's where the person had their ship earlier, and I would go and land there if I thought that was of any value, but it's not. Normally I do land because it's a good way to lock up everything, but I'm playing in the non-aggressive side of the game. There's two parts, so I don't really have to worry about that. And yeah, I would love to be able to move faster, but this is a pretty heavy ship, so it's not gonna go at high speed without attracting a lot of attention from those guys. They're already, looks like they're already pretty mad anyways, for some reason. Sometimes they're just mad, especially in this Tier 3 that's supposed to be more challenging. A lot of the islands have turrets that will fire at you. I've made a couple islands like that, and I quit doing that because they're annoying to deal with. Right, we're coming around. This is the back side. Well, I think of it as the back side because I think of the side with the grass as like the front lawn. And this is back where you can see the statue up there and that top tower. Well, it's not a tower, actually. That one is just a little building, but it's where the data bank was. And we can look down through there and see the towers in the internal part of it. let's see. Now I'm still surrounded by all of these guys. But what we can do to make things more interesting is to lose some altitude. And hopefully I'm not too close to the edge to get my wings banged. So this is a game that's great for wasting a lot of time. Up, 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 go up, go up. Because it takes a long time to play it safe. Now, if you want to be a crazy killer pirate, then you play in the pirate land and you have very well armored ship with lots of guns, swivel guns for people who are boarding, and mantas, cannons to shoot other ships in the distance. You race around at breakneck speed, trashing ships when you find them, stealing stuff. I found that was a little too stressful. Playing against other people really freaks me out. It practically gives me a heart attack. I get so stressed. So I quit doing that. I moved, and once they opened up an area that allows you to just cruise around and nobody wants to kill you except some of the hazards that are built into the game, and then I'm enjoying that much more. So we're basically looking at the coming around from the backside, pretty close to the front. You can see some of the caves opening into ramps that go up to the top, and then I'm going to keep dropping down more here so we can see what the underside looks like. I think there might be a view to the cave here. Of course, it's night again, so depending on how long it takes me to get down here, the sun may or may not come back. But I'm also a little curious as to whether I would be able to bring the ship up underneath the island. It's possible. I think there's some of these caves might be big enough, so at the risk of damaging it, we'll go look. We'll see. What the heck. This is the stuff that I like doing. Coming up under an island and seeing if I can come up into the caves. Usually I have a much smaller ship. This ship's fairly small. I made it as compact as I could. It had to be a certain amount of size to have enough lift to have so many engines on it, because I needed the engines to get through the sandwall, and it also needed to have a couple fuel tanks that were sheltered from the storm wall. So that constrained the design. It's not a design for beauty, it's a design for function. Because the two major challenges of the game were getting through the storm walls. And it looks like, yeah, I might be able to come around. I think we'll come around over to the side though instead. So it was actually two major celebrations today. One was getting through a sand wall, which after playing this game for a couple years now, I think, well, a year and a half, I finally made it. Finally was able to build a ship that was constructed in such a way that it was able to survive. So that was a major accomplishment. And to some extent it means I'm done with the game in terms of having beat it, because there's no story. It's just accomplishments, and that was the last big accomplishment. The other accomplishments are more granular, like designing better ships and fighting other people, stuff like that. Let's see, I'm sort of lost here. Figure out where I am. Ah, I see. Right, yeah. So this is just one of the side entrances to the cave system under there. It looks like it might be getting light. We might be able to have some light come in there, but you can see there's still a certain amount of light, and that's, again, because I left a bunch of holes in the bottom of the floors. Otherwise, it would be pitch black in there. You would have no visibility whatsoever. All right, so what are we going to do now? Well, I'm not going to try and get up into that because it looks like, well, it's really hard to tell sometimes how big my ship is versus how big the space is, because they use a fisheye, not a fisheye, but a field of view, I think? Field of view? Yeah, FOV. That distorts all the perspectives, so it makes it very hard to figure out how far away your edges of your wings are from the ship, from the walls. All right, I think I've exhausted everything about this. Let's go for broke. Kick on the afterburners. This may get me in trouble, but, well, I can always log out because I'm about done with this. I wanted to get away from the island a bit, which, yeah, this ship doesn't have a good rear view. That's fine. Because I think there we go. Yep. Yeah, it is a fast ship, that's for sure. It didn't take long to get away from that. All right, we're saying goodbye. My island, its beauty, and all its unlit glory. Okay, good talking with you. Talk to you next time I get an island accepted into the Worlds Adrift.